Hello, Year 11. I have done the answers for the exercise 9C, just quickly going through them. For question 1 up the top here, we're simply filling in our conversions, so we're putting in, we have times 60 minutes in an hour and times 60 seconds in a minute, and then going back the other way, we are dividing, so we are dividing by 60 when we go from minutes to hours, and dividing by 24 when we go from hours to day, remembering that when we're using these, if we're going this way, we're going from small units to big units, and we are dividing. If we're going the other way, we are multiplying. We are going from big units to small units. Okay, so what I suggest that you do with all these ones over here, I've done this a couple of times with a couple of different ways you can do it. I've done the red ones as small to big, and I really recommend that you get into the habit of using that DMS button on your calculator. Now remember the DMS, the D, which stands for degrees, we can also use for hours, because we have 60 seconds in a minute and 60 minutes in a second. Degrees, minutes, seconds can be used. Our calculator we can also use for hours, minutes and seconds. So what I've done to convert 150 minutes to hours, I've just entered into my calculator as a 0, then push the DMS, puts it in as hours, then 150, and that will be enough for minutes. If I push the equal button, it will convert it for me. And so what I've done is I've done that down here, and all these red ones down here, I have put in as I've indicated into my calculator, and then I've pushed the equals button, and it's given me an answer on the right hand side. It's done it for me. Now coming down here, so that was from A to F, use your calculator. Now when you get down to G, H and I, and you're going the other way, then what we do is we just multiply, and we multiply and add. So if we have 4 hours and 37 minutes, we have 4 times 60 lots of 4 lots of 60 minutes, and then an extra 37. So we can just add them like this. The same for our 47 minutes and 12 seconds. I've got 47 lots of 60 seconds plus 12 more seconds. 5 days, 17 hours, 5 lots of 24 hours plus 17 minutes. And then finally, if I've got 100 hours to days and hours, that's a little bit trickier, I guess. But what I do is I can go from divide it, put it in my calculator. That will give me 4 and 1 6. 4 times 24 is 96. If we subtract that from 100, we end up with 4 days and 4 hours. So K is just a whole heap of multiplication. I have 1 week times 7 days to a week times 24 hours to a day times 60 minutes to an hour times 60 seconds to a minute. If I put all that in, I get 6480, and then the last one again, put in 10. You can put in this into your calculator. Put in 0 hours, 0 minutes, 10,000 seconds, push the equals button, and it will do it for you. Okay, quickly having a look at these 24-hour clocks. Question 3. So anyone which has got above 12, we're going to subtract 12 and put PM. Anything that's under 12 or 12 and under, we're simply going to write down the number and put down AM. So 1406, subtract our 12, 2:46 PM. 0051 we recognise as 12:51 AM. 2005, subtract 12 and get 8:15 PM. So those questions are over here under 3A. Writing these in analog times and 24 notations. Wherever we've got an AM, we're just writing the number down, 7:43 AM, 0743. If if it's in PM, we add 12, 17, 20. So that's pretty straightforward. Remembering that when we come to 12:43 PM, that is just 12:43. If we get to things like 12 noon is 1200, and 12 midnight is 0000. Okay, so those ones there I haven't done all of. I've done the answers over here. We're not going to go through one at a time. Now these ones here again, question 5, use your calculator. This is what I put into my calculator, and then the answer which will come out of my calculator. And I haven't done that as a step, but what will come out of my calculator will be 8, 30, 0, and so I'm converting that to 0830, and that's going to be pretty much the same for all of those down here. Coming out of my calculator is going to be 11:35 and then 0, and I'm going to convert that by pulling out the last one being seconds, 11:35. So I again can do every single one of those using my calculator as I've put them in as I've indicated. Okay, and then of course this thing here is me pushing the equals button. So push the equal buttons on your calculator and you will get that. Now this last one, so all of question 5 we can do that. Question 6, perform each of the following calculations. This time around what we can do is we can use a mixture of our calculator and our and written method. So here in days, because there's 24 hours in a day, our calculator won't do that for us. So, but we can do it pretty easily here. We can always add in our add it up in the first place. We've got 7 days, 34 hours. That's pretty straightforward. We know that 34 hours. There's only 24 hours in a day, so that's 1 day and 10 hours. Add a day to your 8 and add a change of 34 to 10. So we are subtracting 24 from this one, and we are adding, so we're subtracting 24 from that one, and we're adding 1 to our day. And we're doing that subtraction. We can just put that one in our calculator if we want. That one can go straight in our calculator, this one. And this next one we will need to, once again, that would work in wouldn't work in your calculator. You need to add them together. Now this one here, alright, so these are all pretty straightforward. I know I'm mumbling a lot. Get down to here. This one again, I suggest that this section here we can do pretty much in our head, but you can put the hours and the minutes into your calculator. So you can put that into your calculator if you want, and definitely I'm suggesting that when you get to F, that what you do is you put this section here into your calculator and then you add them through. Okay, that was pretty mumbled, but that is my solution.